Welcome back to the Joust About Careers podcast. This episode features the highlights of the conversation with 2013 Van Buren graduate Heather Henderson, a senior public relations specialist for Cardinal Health. The highlights focus on a typical day for Heather, agency versus in-house communications jobs, the highs and lows of a communications career, and much more. If you want to learn more about Heather's career journey, you can always watch or listen to her full interview, and if you find this podcast useful, please share it with someone else who could benefit from it. Enjoy the highlights, and I'll see you here next Monday for a brand new episode. Have a great week.
I would say that the day varies. It's kind of challenging to put it in one bucket of this is a typical day, and that's kind of something I like about being in PR, being in communications. But just to give you a kind of lay of the land of the different areas that I could touch in a certain day. So from an external communications perspective, I support we'll just say several leaders across our technology organization, executive leaders. So if there is a media relations request, so a reporter reaches out from the Wall Street Journal, they want to hear from our CIO about how the technology landscape in healthcare has changed and shifted over the past year. I would work with her to prep her for that media interview. I would communicate with the reporter to ensure no difficult questions are going to be asked and just make sure that that interview is going to go smoothly. So that might be something on the media relations side of things. Or say one of the executives I support is speaking at a industry conference or a leadership conference. I'll also work with them to prep them for that event. And then with both of those opportunities, we make sure to collaborate across the organization to amplify these efforts. So meaning we would do social media content on our enterprise channels and on the leaders channels to promote their involvement or promote the article, or from an internal side of things, working to promote it in internal newsletters, ensuring that all audiences, employees, customers, what have you, are seeing that content. Just given difference in landscapes and what reporters are interested in, it's probably once every 6 months for the technology side of things. Now, I'll say that Cardinal Health, in wanting to talk to our CEO is a little bit different. They're getting outreach way more frequently. But for my job, not super often. So in addition to doing that, I also support from an internal perspective. So say that our chief technology officer wants to meet with all his employees across his organization, which could be 3,000 employees. He wants to get in front of that team on a quarterly basis. So I am making sure that I'm collaborating with him to schedule those meetings. We call them town halls at Cardinal. They vary at different organizations, but schedule them, plan the content, making sure that his leadership team is aligned and that they have a pulse of what their employees want to hear about. So that's something that I might have my hands on. Something else would be organizational announcements. So at large organizations, there's so many shifts in organizational structures and different leaders coming onto the team, and sometimes sadly people getting let go. So I have the joy of working on those types of communications and making sure that they're communicated accurately and timely for when things are being moved around. Agency, the difference is, so you're in-house or your agency. At an agency, you're supporting 6 to 8, it varies, but 6 to 8 different clients with a lot of these communication tactics, right? Social media, media relations, internal communications, events. But you really have to be able to shift from company to company and learn more breadth than depth than you would in-house. And so if I were to recommend to anybody interested in communications is if you are wanting to explore what agency is like, I would do that as your first job out of college because it's great when you're young because it's fast paced. You have to be on 24/7, most of the time. And I think for me, that was the kind of light in the back of my head, like this isn't actually something that I want to do long term because I started at Cardinal and knew what it was like to be in-house and have more of a balance and be supported by a large organization. So that was kind of my desire to come back to in-house, and it did make the development and the growth easier leaving and then coming back. So our team right now, just to put it into perspective, and this is for a Fortune 15 company, so very, very large organization. You'd be surprised to know that my technology organization comms team is 4 people, and then our social media team is 2 people.
Okay.
So when it comes to an initiative or an event that I want to promote, I'm the one, on the back end kind of planning the event. Again, like I said, making sure the leader's prepped and what have you. And then we're looping in our social media partners to inform them. I'm often crafting the copy. They're working with our creative services team to put together the visuals. So video, social media graphics, audiograms, different types of things. So I'm still drafting and writing the copy for the social media content, but not so much the collateral and planning it into the broader social media calendar, if that makes sense. I would say what I enjoy most is what I said at the front of the call is that every day is a little bit different. So it's nice it doesn't get mundane and, repetitive. And also that a big focus of the role is building relationships, whether I'm building relationships with a reporter, an executive, collaborating across the team. I like that aspect of ensuring that, yeah, you're able to communicate also from just to like building relationships to see how you can achieve a goal together.
Right.
In terms of things that can be challenging, so again, it varies in terms of what company you're going into, but my specific case, I am not an expert in technology. It takes me a long time to understand the back end of blockchain and AI and some of the things that I've worked on. And so I think that's an aspect where sometimes you're learning about things where you don't wake up every day where you're like, yay, just can't wait to learn about AI again today, There's that aspect. And then there's also um, communications, because not a lot of people know exactly what it is. There can be misconceptions about who you are in the role at a company, right? And so expectations of what you need to be doing for different people vary. And so you really have to level set with people and be able to communicate what you do as a role, what you're prioritizing. And that can sometimes be challenging. Would I say like that's a deal breaker? No, but it's just something that we experience. I think there's this thought that you're in high school, you know what you want to do, you go to college, you know what you want to do, and then you go do it. Again, that can be the case for people. I think and I think that for me set this like gripping towards figuring it out in college and stressing a little bit too much about making sure I have a job, which, serves me well. Stress can be good in certain cases. I
Right.
am where I am, and that's a good thing. Um, but I wish there was somebody there just saying like, it's okay if you don't have it figured out right now. Like there's some people that are 40 that are still figuring it out, that shift careers, that do different things. Life is going to change. You're going to have different interests and passions throughout your life. So um, trust,
Yep.
trust that, you're going to be guided and led towards opportunities that are fruitful for you, so long as you're showing up and taking the action. That kind of personal responsibility aspect is important too. You
Right.
can't just be drug through the mud to where you want to go.
If you liked this Joust About Careers episode, you can explore previous episodes and highlights to learn about even more careers of Van Buren graduates. To be sure you don't miss upcoming episodes, please click subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform so you'll know when the next episode is released. Thank you for spending a portion of your day with us, and we hope you will continue to prepare for your future by learning just about careers.